let's talk about for a second what you need to actually do that. Okay, let's talk about, the equipment and the software and all those kinds of things. Now, if you want to, and you don't have to get totally carried away with this. I know podcasts that are done basically on somebody's smartphone. They record it, and then they upload it, and you're still going to have the software to build that control file, but they don't edit it or anything. They just record it and copy it up there, and that's all they do is just record it on their phone. There's software, free software for computers to record, and you can just record it on your computer, and you can put it up there. You can record it. You've just got to be able to get it up there to the internet. So you could record it on a recorder and then copy it into your computer and copy it up to the internet. But it can be as simple. Your recording equipment can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. And so you probably got something around somewhere that you can record on that won't cost you anything. Okay, if you have a computer, you may need a microphone. And, for just a few bucks, you can go down and buy a cheap headset, and you can plug it into your computer, and now you can record using that headset. It does not have to be expensive. The trick to this is, especially with microphones, cheap microphones sound cheap. The better quality of microphone, the better the quality of your podcast, okay, or your RSS feed, your audio, if you're doing audio, and so the same thing goes with video. I've seen people that do video to put out on the internet, and they shoot it with their phone. That happens quite often anymore, and the quality is going up dramatically. But you don't have to have all this equipment if you don't want to. But as you get into this more and more, and that's a nice part about this too, is you can kind of do some what I call toe dipping. You dip your toe in there and see what the temperature is, see if you like it. So you can get into this without any major expenses at all. And then when it gets fun, you can upgrade your equipment. And if you get like me, they say that the difference between men and boys is the size and price of their toys. Okay? And I fit that statement to the T. I like toys. And so, to me, a new microphone is a toy, or a new mixer is a toy. A new piece of editing software is a toy. Those are fun, We love to play with those things. And so, as you get into this, and if you start making some success at it, you may want to start investing in some toys if you want to. You can upgrade your recording equipment. But remember, at the front end of this thing is a good microphone. If you're doing audio or even video, good microphone is important. Shooting video and things with video, lighting can be important. I've seen videos shot in existing light, and I've seen video shot with expensive movie set lights, and I've seen videos shot with lights that were like for using in your garage or construction at the hardware store, and they all can work. So it just depends on how far you want to get into it. And this is something that you can play with if you want to, but you can do it simple if you want to. And it doesn't, it makes a difference, but it will work at a simple level as well. Okay? So that's with the recording equipment. Now you're going to need some kind of editing software. If you're doing text, then you need a good word processor or something. If you're doing audio, you're going to need something to edit audio. There is free public domain editing software out there that is excellent in quality of what it does. There are also commercial packages out there that you can buy that do excellent job for editing audio. There's software for editing video, and those are available as well. Some simple ones that are for free, and some ones that the big movie guys use that you can buy, and you can afford those, and you can run those on your computer, on your laptop, or anything. But you can get software that will allow you to edit audio. And when I say edit audio, probably the first thing you're going to do if you're going to record something is you're going to cut off the beginning to where it actually starts, and you're going to cut off the end to where it actually ends. That's the first edit that you would make to it. And then, if you want to get into it more, you're going to go through and cut out all your mistakes. So, as you're recording this thing, you can record it, and if you say something wrong and you want to cut that out, you just clap your hands. And what that does, it makes a spike on the bar, and you can see where you need to cut it. And so you can cut out your mistakes, and so you can, redo things over. That gives you the chance to make yourself look much more professional. On the easy end, you just start the recording when you want to start, and you end it when you're done, and what you get's what you get. But if you want to be more professional, you can do those kinds of things as well. And even with the free, most basic software, you can do things like removing hum and noises out of their audio. You can do other things with it as well. Then you can find music out there, and you can put a little music in the background and those kinds of things if you want to when you're editing it. Now, again, we need to stress the importance of copyrights. You don't just go grab any music out there. You need to buy music and pay for it so you have the right to use it, or get music or information that somebody else doesn't own the copyrights to or the rights to. And there are all kinds of sites and places out there. We use one called Music Bakery. And when we buy a sound effect or a piece of music, we have a lifetime license to that, and we can use it as many times as we want. And it's, relatively inexpensive. And with a podcast, if you're doing a podcast, like a radio show, most of the time all you're going to need is some kind of a fancy intro that you play the piece of music, and talk about as you go in, and you play the same piece of music at the end, so you only have to buy one song. You're not looking at a whole bunch of money. And then you use your editing software to place that in the background as you do that, and you can sound really, really professional. You can have a lot of fun with this, okay? The next thing that you're going to need is the publishing tools. You're going to need these tools, like say, that creates these control files, whatever kind of control file it is. And there are a lot of these available that are free at no cost, or very low cost. You can buy publishing tools that will build those control files, and it will explain how to set these up. And so that makes it so easy. Then if you're doing audio files or video files, one of the things that you'll need to do as well, like when you put those up there on iTunes, they need to have an embedded graphic, like an embedded album cover or something, so you can actually, with these publishing tools and these types of tools, you can actually pull up that MPEG file and give it a title, give it the information, say who the owner is, kind of a meta tag kind of editor. You put in there your album cover, or your photograph, or your graphic, your logo, whatever, so that whenever anyone plays that, it will display that graphic or that album cover, and you can do all of that with these kinds of tools. And there are a number of them out there, and they're free as well. And then you've got to have hosting. You've got to have some place to copy that information up to, and so you need a good place to put that information. And I happen to know a good company that can provide that for you. So there's my advertisement. But you just need to have a good hosting company that you can put that information up there and make it available. Put the website, if it's an RSS feed, the link to, copy that control program up there, and voila, you've got this great thing available. Now you need to drive people to it and get them to sign up to it, so that you build your following, and then you just maintain that thing. And if you've got good content and you're into a niche where people are really interested in it, you can actually develop a lot of following just through word of mouth. People will say, wow, if they're into whatever the niche is, and they find this your great podcast on it, they're going to tell their friends about it, and you're going to pick up a lot of things. So a lot of that can actually be done just through having good content. Can actually help you to do that over time. Getting quite a bit of content out there and getting people interested in it and getting them to share it and pass it on. And so you'll need to do some other marketing, to kind of get the ball rolling. but this doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to take a lot of stuff to do that. Okay, let me give you a good resource that you can go to. And I've looked out there and looked at a lot of information and studied, and this is one of the best places, I think, to learn how to do podcasts. And the website is podcastanswerman.com. And he's got a number of free videos that you can just watch out there that give you a good basic understanding about how to produce a podcast. I mean, I like his philosophy. He's like, if you want to, you start out, you can do it for free, then build your way up. And if you want to, get into more professional equipment and those kinds of things, and then he has some videos and some courses that he sells. But there's just a lot of good free information that you can get there, that you can learn how to do a podcast. The more technical stuff, he gives you a lot of the resources of the different, on this website, it will have resources where you can find the free editing programs. He will give you resources of where you can find the programs to build that control file. And he'll give you places that you can go to submit it to, podcast directories and those kind of things. So this is really a good place to start looking for information. You can also look for other places out there. Just go do a search on podcast. Go into YouTube and type in podcast, and there's just lots of great information. But it doesn't have to be really complicated, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming to be able to do this. You can do it, you can make it fun, and it can be pretty easy to do. So, and with just a few hours of time, you can have your own television show or radio show on the internet, and you can have people that will follow you and watch that. There's no huge cost involved. It's really not that complicated once you do it. You go through it the first time. You have to learn things the first time. But once you go through it, then all of a sudden it starts getting fun. And, where in the world before today with the internet could you actually have your own television show or radio show without expending hardly any money at all? I mean, the internet is offering you an incredible opportunity. In just a few hours, you can do this. And so, give it a try. Play with it. You can have a lot of fun with it. It can help you in your business. It can help you develop that following. You can tie it into your website. You can tie it into your social media. You can tie it into all the other things that you can do. Podcasting, RSS feeds, those key things can be just a lot of fun.